Hey, everybody.
Hey,
You say hello to everybody. I
I
always say,
did.
hey, everybody. It's
And I say,
opposite
hey,
sexes.
hello, everybody. Welcome to Opposite Saxes, Thursday at 1 o'clock. It's
She's,
that time again.
she's got it down.
And we have an
What?
interesting show. I hope that
Well,
people think it's
no,
the joys of home ownership.
not only
Specifically,
the joys of home ownership, but having a yard and landscaping.
I'm being facetious. I'm being sarcastic.
Oh,
There are those of us that don't enjoy gardening, but we have to do it because you got to do it.
well, and there are
But
some of us who, it might be a little tedious, but you're diligent about the gardening, and unfortunately, we're one of the few in our neighborhood that are. It's a shame, and probably a lot of you watching and listening can relate to it. That sometimes you're out there cutting your grass, trimming your bushes, and
yeah.
puttering around in the garden and all, and your neighbors around you just don't care. They
It's
got
not a priority.
weeds.
I mean, a lot of them have kids, they work. I get it. But you do need to get out every so often and sweep a little bit, pull some weeds.
And you stay ahead of the
Well, I
game and
do
you follow
because
schedules.
actually, your friend who put in a lot of our
Landscaping, yeah.
shrubs and landscape says you got to get out there every other week
Yeah.
because it is. You
It's like
got
a
to keep
lot
on
of things.
top
If
of
you
it.
fall behind, it's a lot harder to catch
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So if you do it every so just like cutting your grass every couple of weeks and all keeps it looking nice and all, but a couple of times a year you got to fertilize, and a couple of times a year maybe you have to pull out and I still can never remember, is it the perennials or the annuals that you don't have to worry about?
Both. Oh, that you don't have to keep planting?
Yeah, annuals are
Okay.
are flowers that you put in every year,
Right.
and you just
Right.
at the end of the season you just
Yeah.
take them out.
Yeah.
And perennials come back every year,
Right.
right?
Right.
Okay,
And I'm a firm believer
but
in the
perennials,
perennials, yeah.
yeah,
But other than the fact that it is good exercise to get out there, it's good to get a little sun.
stoop and bend and up
Yeah,
and down.
it's just I just get
Well,
tired because you know what? Now I'm looking at everything we have to do for getting ready for winter. And so you need the pre-emergent, which is the weed killer, and that's August to November. Although it can vary depending on where you are in the United
so
States.
right now we're in that period right
And
now.
we are supposed to have it down probably a week ago. And we're a little lax.
But you have the product that we need in order to
Yes.
do it, and you're right.
Yes.
You're supposed to do it within a window. Of course,
Yeah.
a lot depends on the weather. I mean, here where we live, we have gone through a drought, which means the ground is very, very dry. Right. So sometimes you have to prep the yard by spraying it a little bit so that
well, and that's
pre-emergent.
the thing. The pre-emergent, I mean, there's all sorts of things when you do it, how much water you put on it, or you don't, how much you don't put on it. In order to be effective against the weeds, it's got to be more in the soil. So get it in the soil, just not on top of the grass. I mean, there's
Is that really a reason, a good reason why some people say, I'm just going to hire a gardener
if you can find them. It's very difficult. I see
beyond
it
just cutting the
on
grass?
next door. I see it all the time. People are looking, and I've been looking for somebody to help out, to at least somebody I can ask, or if we have shrubs that are a little difficult for us to get to as far as height, can somebody come and clip them up? That's hard to find somebody to do that.
We
They don't
have we
have
have
them.
Gustavo, and
Gustavo?
Gustavo cuts the grass, and but every once in a while Gustavo will say, you better put some water over on those plants over there. I see they're starting to dry out, because he cuts
He
our grass, but
notices
he
it.
works for a landscape maintenance company.
He does?
Mhm.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, yeah, and sometimes he'll say, maybe next time I'll come and I'll trim the bushes.
But he doesn't. I think that he gets more cutting grass and he can get more of
Well,
those
a
in.
lot of those do,
Yeah.
because it takes them 10 or 15 minutes, and the more they can do in a day, fine. But there are some that will do everything. You hire them, and it's like a homeowners association. It's their job to make sure that it looks good all the time.
right.
And if something dies,
True.
they take it out, they
And
put
they
a
put it
new,
back.
put a new one
But
in.
look, even on the pre-emergent, it says if you apply it on grass that's too wet, that's not good either. Because it can only absorb so much.
Right. And then after you put the pre-emergent down, aren't you supposed to then go back and water over it lightly again?
Yes, that's
So
what I
that
said,
it
but you don't
activates-
want to put too much water. You gotta put just enough to get that into the soil and not make it stay on top.
Another good reason to hire a professional.
Yeah, but and then you have the post-emergent.
A pre-emergent
And
and
that's
a
in the
post-emergent.
springtime, and you gotta know when to put that in.
And then you got Roundup and you got
Roundup, I don't think we use anymore because they realized that there was something in Roundup. It was a fabulous product. Unfortunately, gave some people cancer.
so you can't spray Roundup on your weeds.
So they have, Roundup may still be out there. I don't know. I've just been looking at other things because I didn't want to deal with it.
When you go into a
I'm just looking
nursery,
at all the things we should be
it's
doing.
incredible. Used to go into nurseries and it was just rows and rows and rows of flowers and trees and
Mhm,
bushes and
mhm.
plants.
Mhm.
Now they have a whole section of chemicals
Yes.
and treatments and things to put on. I mean, even there's a whole aisle of, if you want to get rid of, you want to deter rabbits, squirrels. They have a separate one for the ants.
Well,
They got a product for that. There are
they only have a couple products for the rabbits.
Ortho is the name that pops up a lot.
Yeah.
Ortho
Yeah.
has got a chemical for everything.
But there's not enough for the rabbits. There's not enough to put down for the rabbits. There's nothing that's really been proven, shall we say,
No,
for the rabbits.
the rabbits aren't dumb. They
No.
they know they'll go. If ooh, this plant tastes funny, I'm gonna try that one over
Do that
there.
again for everybody.
It's because they were eating up our hosta.
Yes.
They were getting under the fence and they were coming in. They were chomping on the hosta. So
I hope they enjoyed it.
Lauren put something on the hosta. So they went to the plant, 2 plants over, and all started chewing on those.
No, we just had to just seal off
We had to find out where they were coming
ability to
in
get
under the
in
fence.
for them to get under the fence. Yeah. But we also have fertilizer. And these are all of your instructions.
Yeah, a 12-page book.
And nothing's been done yet.
But tell them where you went to get all this information and to get the products.
The name of the store, you mean?
Yeah.
Partners?
Partners.
Yeah.
Partners. It's an elderly Texas couple that have been in business for 45, 50 years. And they got a little small place. And when you think that they are competing against the Home Depots and the Lowe's and all the big garden centers and everything, they're tucked away on a little short block, and they've been there and they've been helping people for years and years. And I, for one, applaud them over and over again.
I do too. I'm just so embarrassed that it took me 9 years to find them. I had never heard of them. And I happened to see something in the paper about them. And so I went over, and they don't carry a lot. They don't carry any furniture, a few samplings of chimes that you could get, but it's mostly fertilizer.
Well, they don't carry a lot of plants.
Post-emergent, they don't carry any plants. But they have the fertilizers and the certain things that you need
to take care of your garden.
Yeah, to take care of and make your plants grow. And they make you come around to the back, and he loads up your car for you.
And he tells you what to do.
And he gives you these
Yeah.
instructions of when. And it was fabulous because no one's ever done that.
It's like the good old days.
It is. They're few and far between. And I'm sorry to say, when he goes, he's a dying breed. Excuse the expression.
Yeah. No, but it's worth it to seek out those people, because once they teach you how to do it, if you remember how to do it, you follow the directions and everything, you can save yourselves hundreds of dollars on those professional landscapers that come around and do the same thing and charge you
Well,
a lot of money for it.
yeah, I mean, we had a couple of those professional landscapers that put in some bushes that I don't think they realized what they were putting in, or they did and they didn't care because
They
it
didn't.
didn't work for us.
And they didn't do a soil analysis.
Yeah, it just didn't work for us. And so we spent a lot of money on plants that just haven't made it. So if I hadn't seen partners to go in to this nice little couple at the store, there are websites that you can go to through a lot of the larger universities
Oh,
that
really?
have agriculture departments. And because it's Texas, there's an
Ah.
agricultural department through one of the big universities here. And it's really a good way to get some information. And they all have websites, and they all talk about weeds and things for your grass and what kind of grass do you have and where do you live, and what is the best thing to put on the grass, or what type of grass is best for where you live.
And you got different kinds of grasses.
So you
too.
can go there, but it's not like having somebody right in front of you at a store explain everything to you, or look at the pictures on your phone and say, oh, well, I know what that is, and this is what you need. Let me take you over to the aisle.
Well,
There's not enough people in the big stores to take you
No.
and show you.
Or they sell what you need. Oh, it's in aisle 14. And you're running up and down aisle 14, and naturally you find what you're looking for, but there's 12 different varieties.
Right.
And how do you know which is the best for
Well,
your lawn?
and the other thing, like we've been talking about, we said something on our last show, there's just not enough employees around. And they might have the employees, but they don't know what they're selling.
Yeah.
They are strictly cashiers.
They're cashiers.
Yeah.
So you have to do your due diligence, and you have to go online, and you got to Google, and you got to see what you have. And like in our case, we have different grasses. We have a different grass in the backyard, our side yard, and our front yard. So does that mean you have to find a different fertilizer for each one of those? Or you have to find somebody who could say, if you use this
will
all in one, works on all grass types. And it also helps with certain bugs that get into the grass. And you learn about all kinds of stuff like nutgrass. Nutgrass is something we have a problem with here in Texas.
Yeah.
And it spreads. And
it just can take over your whole lawn. But that again are the joys of home ownership.
Yeah.
And it's just something that you gotta do to keep up a house.
Exactly. And
so where are you going after we're through recording?
I'm going out to spread some pre-emergent on the yard, right?
Yeah.
After the pre-emergent
some
first.
Dimension.
Dementia?
No, that's what you have. Dimension.
Dimension
is the name of the product, and then a week later.
You're
spraying something else.
Oh, okay.
Aren't you looking forward to it?
I have dementia. Dimension. I have dimension. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Can I have lunch first? Or do you want
maybe.
Maybe get your butt out there and do the pre-emergent.
Maybe you could eat and then
something
while you're doing it.
So I guess you know what I'm going to be doing this afternoon, folks, and what you should be doing next week at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday. Coming right back here to see us.
We'll be here.
Yeah, and go take a look at your lawn.
Bye.